What's going on, gentlemen? How are we doing? I'm going to talk about a topic today that has become such a taboo. It's almost toxic to talk about. Masculinity. What has happened to masculine men? What has happened to being wrong with masculine men, with being a masculine man? Somehow, all of a sudden, the moment you express even a little bit of your masculinity, even a little bit of an affinity to associate yourself with masculinity, you're deemed as toxic. And there is almost a war, a vendetta to feminize men. And this is not in the best interest of a society, because it's masculine men that build a society firstly and foremostly, that protect a society. It's masculine men that go to war. It's masculine men that protect the vulnerable, those who need protecting. So it's not in the best interest of a society to feminize men, but this is what is happening anyway. And as a result, many of you are paying the price in your relationships. Many of you are suffering the consequences of being and behaving like a feminine man in your relationships. So I'm going to go through a couple of points as to what the hell is going on and what we can do about it. Firstly and foremostly, one of the biggest criminals one of the biggest reasons as to why men today have become feminized is TV and social media, specifically Netflix. I want you to pay attention to the Netflix series and just pay attention to how much they inject femininity within men, feminizing men. I have to be careful. I'm realizing now I have to be careful what I say, because otherwise this video might be removed from YouTube. But you will notice there's such an injection of femininity within men. I'll give you an example. I was watching a movie the other day, Ready Player One, just a random movie. I couldn't help but notice how they have made the main character, the guy, such a simp-like character. He's the one who's scared, who's tentative, who's expressing his love so quickly and easily. Whereas the girl, the female, she's standoffish. She's quite masculine in that regard. It's almost as though the roles have been reversed. I don't know if you remember Prison Break. Prison Break is on Netflix. It's not a Netflix program, but it's on Netflix. Do you remember Sucre from Prison Break? Do you remember how much of a simp he was on, what's his girlfriend's name? I forget his girlfriend's name now. She was about to get married to another guy, and my guy's traveling the country to stop her from getting married. This is the type of pathetic, simp-like behavior that is being pushed in the media, and young men like yourselves are consuming this and thinking, right, this is what the media says. This is how the media says I should behave towards a woman. So this is how I should behave. This is how I should treat a woman. And then reality kicks you in the face and you realize, hold on a minute. All of these values and lessons that I've been learning from TV are not serving me in real life. Women don't like this behavior in real life. And women are quite paradoxical. They work in opposites. Like you give them one thing and they react in another way. You treat them with asshole type behavior and they can't help but be attracted towards you. Within reason, and there is a range. The more toxic the woman, the more she enjoys being treated badly. It's mad. And equally, the less toxic she is, the less she will appreciate that behavior. But my point is this. These values and lessons that you're being taught on TV and social media, it's not true. It's not true. You've got to stop simping over these women. Stop overly validating them. Stop complimenting them. Stop asking for their permission. Stop trying to please them incessantly. They don't like it. They might say they like it on comments on social media posts and so on, but they'll tell you they like it from a perspective of, yeah, we like you, we love you, you're nice to us, but we don't desire you. And therein is the difference. They'll friend zone you, they'll take you on as a mate, but that doesn't make her desire you. these feminine traits, these emasculated traits, doesn't make a woman desire you. Don't get it twisted. So TV, social media, big culprit in this regard. And the next time you watch a Netflix program or you watch a TV program, I want you to pay attention. Pay attention to this feminist narrative that is being constantly injected into the programs, into the into the TV programs, into the roles of the actors. Notice how masculine the woman is. She's quite masculine and dominant. And even in the kids programs, I was watching a kid movie with my son the other day. Some really masculine, sort of stoic character, and she's a female. Whereas the guy, he's pretty pathetic. So there's a vendetta, and the roles have been reversed. Pay attention to them, because if you don't, you will subconsciously take it on board and think, right, this is how I have to behave. And it's not true. This is precisely how you shouldn't behave. Okay? Second thing, comfort. One of the paradoxical laws or relationships of living in a comfortable society, if you're living in the West or you're living in a developed country, a comfortable society breeds weakness. Hence the saying, strong men create good times. Good times create weak men. Weak men create bad times, and bad times create strong men. Now you could argue that right now we're in the good times, and good times create weak men. This is simply because there is no need to strive. You don't need to go and hunt every single day. You don't need to travel for miles and then to collect water from the river. You could just turn the tap on and voila, you have your water. You have your cold water, or you have your warm water. You have a kettle and it heats it up for you. You have an oven and it roasts the chicken for you. And this is great. This is fantastic. But the problem is that comfort breeds weakness. It makes us soft. It makes us weak. So you have to find ways to get out of your comfort zone of your own accord. You have to figure this out for yourself. You have to intentionally do things that are difficult, that make you uncomfortable, that put you outside your comfort zone. I'll give you an example. I like to shower first thing in the morning with ice cold water. Right now it's the winter time. I've shot this video in January. The pipes are freezing. After I've worked out first thing in the morning, I'll jump straight into a cold shower. Now, apparently there's health benefits to this. There probably is. I don't really know. I don't do it for the health benefits. I first started doing it to wake myself up. Now I don't even do it for that. I do it because it's difficult. No matter how many times I do it, and I've been doing this for almost a year now. No matter how many times I do it, it never gets comfortable. It's always uncomfortable. I'm nervous before I put the water first on my back because it's uncomfortable. And this is good. I'll take a quote from David Goggins. He talks about callousing the mind. You see these calluses here on my hand? Callous your mind. And the only way you can callous your mind is by training your mind. You get calluses on your hands by lifting weights. Well, on your mind, you have to lift weights on your mind. And you do that by getting outside your comfort zone. For me, it's an ice cold shower, or extending my run, or lifting slightly heavier weights, or doing something online that makes me feel uncomfortable. Once upon a time, going live on social media, on Instagram and on TikTok, was quite nerve-wracking for me. Like, it was really, I'd never done it before, and I was nervous. Full disclosure, I was nervous, but I would still do it anyway. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is feeling fear and walking towards it anyway. That's courage. It cannot be considered a courageous act if you don't fear anything in the first place. So constantly do things that make you feel uncomfortable. Start getting comfortable with the uncomfortable. You must push yourself every day, just a little something. Even if it's a small thing, it doesn't matter. The point is that you are getting your mental muscles used to lifting those uncomfortable weights. If you don't, and you remain in a state of comfort constantly, the moment that a tragedy hits you, or an affliction hits you, or a trial hits you, you're finished. You're absolutely finished. Your mental muscles are too weak to bear the load of this tragedy, this affliction, this trial. So you must get yourself into the habit of pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone on a daily basis, every single day. And this will translate into making you a more competent, capable, masculine man. When you are familiar and you get familiar with pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone, you start to grow in confidence. You stand a little taller. You feel a little bit more confident. You can look a person in the eye with a bit more certainty. You feel better about yourself. So yes, it's uncomfortable in the short term, but in the long run, you start callousing your mind. You start strengthening your mind. And this will contribute towards making you a more masculine man. And the final thing I've got here, I had a young man reach out to me not so long ago, and it really, it hurt me. I felt it in my heart. And he said to me, I'm struggling with a porn and masturbation problem. He's a young man. I won't give any more details than that. I'll just say he's a young man. And it really hurt me. This young man even mentioned to me that he's starting to notice the side effects of porn and masturbation. And I presume he's talking about erectile dysfunction. I didn't want to ask. I didn't want to go into the details, but I presume that's what he's talking about. And we need to address this porn issue. Gentlemen, porn is not okay. Don't listen to what anyone tells you. Even if they say to you, oh, it's okay in moderation, it won't harm you if you just watch it every now and again. Gentlemen, don't open that door. Don't open that door. It's a downward spiral. The problem with porn is this. You are accustoming yourself to a high level of arousal. That is, you have to see very erotic images or videos in order for you to become aroused. Then, when you go home to your wife, she might be a good-looking woman, but compared to these erotic, highly erotic porn images and videos that you've seen, she's pretty basic. Now, because your arousal level is up here, when you go home to your wife, who's working at this level, you can't get aroused by her. And suddenly you're suffering from erectile dysfunction. You start looking for the Viagra. You think there's something biologically wrong with you. And the truth is, it's all mental. You've accustomed yourself to such a high level of arousal that now you can't even get hard for your wife. And can you imagine how emasculated you will feel if you can't get hard for your own wife? Can you imagine what that will do to your masculinity? Now, I'm sure there are other side effects of porn and masturbation as well that I am not too aware of. I don't have much experience in this. When this young man reached out, I shouldn't say much. I don't have any experience in this. When this young man reached out to me, I said to him, I am tentative. I'm scared to advise you because I have no knowledge on it. So I'm going to reach out to my people who do have knowledge on it. And they gave me some great advice. And one gentleman, he got back to me and he mentioned how the excessive dopamine hits on the brain by looking at porn, start to wear thin on your mind. I don't quite understand it exactly, to be honest with you. I'm sure there's plenty of YouTube videos that explain it better than I can. My point is this: watching porn makes you weak. It makes you weak. You've got to get off the porn. There's tons of videos out there, resources and materials that can advise you how to do this. I'm not your guy for that. I'm just here to tell you that porn is a problem and masturbation is a problem. It's a big problem and it comes with a host of side effects. And don't think that just because you do a little bit, it's okay. That little bit can open the door to a lot of it. You with me, guys? So remember, be careful of the war on the TV and social media, the vendetta against masculinity. Open your eyes to it. Be careful. Pay attention to it. Beware of comfort, excessive comfort, because comfort is the brother. It gives birth to weakness. Excessive comfort gives birth to weakness. So make sure you're pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone every single day. And finally, porn and masturbation, it's not okay, guys. It's not okay. It's hurting you. It's harming you. It's emasculating you. It's making you, I don't want to say feminine because that's an insult to females, but it's emasculating you. It's making you less of a man. If you want to be a man's man, you want to be the archetypal man, masculine man, whatever figure comes to your mind, whether it's a shark or a ape or whatever it is, you want to be that man, you're going to have to get off that porn. All right, guys, let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you for watching. Hit that subscribe as well, and I'll catch you on the next one.